NOME is one of the fastest rising names in bass house right now. A regular in Martin Garrix's playlists, signed to his label, and performing at the biggest festivals worldwide. His unique style is what sets him apart. And in this video, we're going to break it down and build a drop in his style completely from scratch.
Are we still moving this cold world?
Okay, let's start with the lead. That's usually the thing I like to build around. I already sketched out a super simple melody and sound, just so we're not starting completely from nothing. It's really basic, kind of boring actually, so I wanted to mess it up and make it more interesting. I grabbed Shaperbox, which I pretty much always use for this, and started pitching the melody around, adding some drive for grit, and then widening it. I also wanted to play with the sound a bit more before moving on, so I added another Shaperbox on top to bring out some highs that move with the sound, and then some basic stuff like OTT, Bigifier, which sounds amazing on these plucky leads, and then a little EQ to clean it up. So yeah, the melody itself isn't doing anything crazy. It's really just the movement and processing that make it feel alive. Alright, next up are the drums. My goal here is just to sketch something quick that works with the lead. Nothing too special yet. I started with the basics. A solid kick, clap, and some fast hats to keep the groove moving. Then, in the second part, I threw in a tom to make the drums feel a little more unique. I also left some space in the pattern for fills later on, so it doesn't get too repetitive. So yeah, it's nothing crazy right now, but that's fine. It's just the foundation so we can keep building the idea as we go. Now, let's get into the last main element of the sketch, the bass. For this drop, I wanted something a bit heavier, so I started with a simple 808 style bass in Serum. Just like with the lead, I like to sketch out the rhythm first before worrying about the actual notes. I'll usually just hum an idea under the drums until I find a groove that locks in nicely with the kick. Once the rhythm felt solid, I went back and shaped the pitch to add more character. And of course, I added pitch bends for that extra movement and flow. That's what really makes the bass feel alive instead of static. Alright, so that was the rough sketch. From here, I started building it out day by day and polishing the drop. The first thing I worked on was the leads. I layered a few more sounds on top. And added some movement with automation. Things like decay, reverb, tremolo, stereo separation, and a bit of delay in certain spots. In the second part of the drop, I also added a riser lead. It follows the same rhythm as the main lead, but on just one note, and I automated the pitch and filter so it grows as it plays. Once the leads felt alive, my next step was to make the whole drop feel fuller by adding extra synths and fills. I threw in some synth shots that are panned left and right as a kind of call and response to the main lead. Then I added a refill at the end of every fourth bar. And in the second part of the drop, some risers, uplifters, and downlifters to push the energy higher, to keep the drop from getting stale. I added fills at the end of each section. I combined a filtered bass with synth that I made, and also added a bit of reverb. I also spent some extra time on the drums. Added a couple more clap layers, a clap fill, another hi-hat, a shaker loop, and a percussion loop. On top of that, drum fills hit every 2 bars, and I dropped a crash at the start of each section for impact. Finally, I added some ear candy and vocals. There's a vocal shout, plus I dug around for a vocal that fit well as a little fill between each section of the drop. Then, I sprinkled in drop noises and sweeps to smooth everything out. And one last detail, I gave the bass a bit more movement with another pitch bend, some filter automation for transitions, and a little decay automation to make it breathe more.
But we still move in this cold world.
That's it. If you found this video helpful, I've made an even more detailed breakdown on Skytech's production style. Go check that one out next.